For the sofa quilt itself, the binding, I'm going to do a flange binding. So the dark brown is going to be basically the colour that's mainly showing, and this is going to be the little teeny accent, so it'll look something like that. So what I've done is cut 6 strips of this dark brown, and they are 1.5 inches wide. 6 strips. 6 strips of this at 1.75 inches wide, and I have sewn them end to end, so it's a dirty great big long bit of each. Now I sewed them together on the diagonal, and you can see my diagonal line. I don't bother cutting off the salvages because they help me to keep good line on it, and so diagonally, so it'll open out like that. So when you've sewn them all together, that's when I trim off the salvage, trim off seam allowance, little doggy there, and that's it. I was going to press them open, but my hand is not deciding to work today, so I press them all to the side. So now I want to sew these, sorry about my arm, I want to sew these right sides together all along the long edge, but I don't want the seams to be in the same place, so I'm going to move this brown one up by a few inches and then sew all the way down. So that dirty great big long strip I'm sewing together along the long side, and I'll do that now. So this is the quilt. Let me see if I can angle it up a bit. This is my sofa quilt that that binding is going on. So now we sew it on exactly the same as you do for normal binding. Yes, I've got a pieced backing. I've got a little tuck in it there, never mind. But you now want to, if you machine sewing this on by your machine, you need to start from the back of your work. Put it on so you can see what's going to be the flange, because when it's done you'll be turning that over and that flange will be on the front. So sew it on now as you would normally do with your normal binding. And when I'm not so hot and bothered and in a rush, then I will show you the binding. I'll show you how to do the binding anyway, but I'll stitch it all on now. I have sewn it to the back and then brought it forward and sewn it to the front. My stitches are actually on this little flange, which works out at about 1/8 of an inch, and but you can't see it too much because it's a very busy pattern in that, but it's a lot of a fiddle for something that isn't really seen because you're piecing them together. But I do get a nice looking binding to it, and look at the corner, lovely. And the other one, well, there's threads hanging off that. I'll cut them, but it's the same again. It's 1/8 of an inch. I had a bit of difficulty with that corner, that's why the threads are there, because I had to cut it and everything. But another corner, not too, well, it's all right there. And there's bits of fluff and everything on it. That corner, lovely. But this now is my birthday present to myself. Finished a little bit early. But I will do a placemat at some time and show you more from the sewing machine side of it. Thank you. Bye.